very loving, contagious guy. I mean, I know that, right? It's been noted, right? His saying was one love, and I think you just felt that. You felt that aura, you felt that demeanor, you felt him carry that, and that's everything that he did. The way he played this game, the way he took care of his body, he did that like a veteran. He was a professional. He was much more of a professional than a lot of young guys that I've seen throughout the league, and doing everything that you need to do the right way to make sure you're available. And Marshawn did that, and very loved. He'll be missed. Definitely not forgotten, and we're going to move forward. We're going to move forward to carry on his legacy, and just everything that we can do, just trying to do it to the best we can.
The bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip are still not as bright as the smile Marshawn Kneeland shared with us throughout his 24 years on this earth as the Cowboys make their first ever regular season trip to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. They will do so with heavy hearts. It's Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, honoring Marshawn Kneeland's legacy by putting the best product possible on the field. They have the helmet decals, Dak Prescott praying pregame on the field in Las Vegas with his T-shirt donning the face of Marshawn Kneeland, and then even Javonte Williams, who was only a teammate with Kneeland for a short period of time, honoring his lost teammate who passed away last week at the age of 24. Welcome into Cowboys Pregame Live, presented by WinStar World Casino and Resort. We are here from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Of course, it is a heavy-hearted day across the board. The Cowboys organization still mourning the loss of Marshawn Kneeland, who was a beloved teammate, a brother for all those that played on the field together with him, and even for us in the media. It's been a tough week having to move on to talk about a football game when really, Nate Newton, things aren't as important on the football field as they are off of it when something like this happens.
You know, you saw where Dak said the prayer, and you saw where his teammates have said great things about this young man. And the way you handle this tonight, you go out and you play with all your heart. You know, you'll never forget him. Every time you step on the field, you think of Marshawn and you give him a smile and you tell him, hey, this one's for you. Not the game itself, whether you win or lose, but how hard you play. Dak said he's a veteran-type guy. You know, for a young guy, he was a veteran. He acted like a veteran. Hey, be a veteran tonight. Play hard for him. Our hearts are with you and your family, and our prayers go out to you.
Well said. And of course, all of us here send our condolences to his entire family and for those that were affected by this tragedy. Now, as you said, the best way to move forward here with Marshawn in mind is to play a high brand of football and do what he did and what he loved to do at the same time. Let's take a look at the last 4 weeks for the Cowboys, starting back in week 6, where Rico Dowdle and company took care of business and gave the Cowboys a road loss. Cowboys did return in a big way at home at AT&T Stadium. That was a primetime matchup where they took down the Washington Commanders. But since then, the Cowboys have still been looking to get back on track as they fell to the Denver Broncos in emphatic fashion. And then last time out on the field, Monday Night Football, they fell to the Arizona Cardinals 27-17. But when the trade deadline came around, it was also the bye week. So the Cowboys got busy in the front office. Quinnen Williams was an addition for the Cowboys. They trade a 2027 first-round pick, a 2026 second-round pick, and Mozzie Smith to the Jets to acquire one of the best defensive tackles in all of football. And then they send a 7th-round pick to the Cincinnati Bengals to secure a linebacker that has the possibility to start at the second level for Matt Eberflus's defense. He was Logan Wilson in that 100-plus tackle season a year ago, now comes to Dallas. So some new faces on the defensive side of the football. Isaiah Stanback, I'll start with you. How will Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson make their impact felt in Game 1?
Well, Quentin Williams is the person that I'm most excited about simply because of the fact that one positional upgrade upgrades everybody, makes everybody better. Him and Kenny Clark playing next to each other in a 1-and-3 technique automatically requires 3 offensive linemen to block them, which gives your defensive end one-on-one, so you don't have to improve that position. Your linebackers, including Logan now, you bring him into the mix. Those guys can run and hit and do the things that they can do with their reactions because now they don't have to be concerned about offensive linemen. Really excited about Quentin Williams, somebody who's almost played 100 games, somebody who has over 100 solo tackles, somebody who has over 100 hits on the quarterback. He's going to impact your game, not only in the running game, but also in the passing game.
Yeah, I'm excited about both of these guys. And to me, the bye week couldn't come at a better situation because it gives both of these players time to understand the playbook, understand what's required of them and how the Dallas Cowboys go about business as far as practicing and all that stuff. But when you talk about Quentin Williams, he automatically upgrades your defensive line, whether it's getting that, rushing the passer up the middle or stopping the run. He's one of the best defensive tackles at the run game that there is in the National Football League. And when it comes to Logan Wilson, to me, this is the one piece that has been missing in Eberflus's defense when you talk about a quarterback of the defense. When you look at all the defenses he's been in charge of, whether it's Dallas, Chicago, Indianapolis, he's always had that quarterback at the second level. When it was here, it was Sean Lee. When it was in Chicago, it was Roquan Smith. Indianapolis, you had Shaq Leonard out there. Someone that can go out there and not necessarily dominate the game, but make sure everybody on that defense is playing at the same pace and at the same level as far as understanding and communicating out there. And that's what we've not seen from the Dallas Cowboys this entire season. The communication has been way off. I believe Logan Wilson can be that quarterback to get everybody tied in on the same page and flying around the football.
I think that Quentin Williams will have a bigger impact early, but as the season goes on, Logan Wilson will be that guy that can connect our linebackers to our secondary. We want to see people just flying around in our secondary free or running the short secondary routes free. This guy is a smart guy. That's what we need. We need somebody that can connect the dots for our front end and our back end so we can play better as a unit. But I'm telling you, Quentin Williams, I've been waiting on you for years.
Hey, and you're not the only one. I'm going to give a lot of credit to that man at the end of the table. Isaiah Stanback stood on the table saying that they needed a defensive tackle to make an impact on this defense, and boy, did they go get one of the top defensive tackles in all of football. Talking about what he can do against the run is one thing, but what about what they've done in terms of double team pressures? This is when it comes to pass rush. So not only can Quentin Williams step up and add an entirely new element from a run defense standpoint, but he is the top pass rushing defensive tackle against the double team since the 2022 season started. Of course, you've got Osa Odighizuwa, who you locked up to a long-term deal through the early parts of the offseason. Now you pair him with guys like Kenny Clark, Osa Odighizuwa. All of a sudden, Isaiah, this turns it from one guy in the building to another 3 guys, and your interior defensive line is a stout force.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he gives other guys one-on-one matchups, and that's how you make your team better. I mentioned this dude's played 98 games, but he has 101 hits on a quarterback. That's insane from an interior defensive line position. That's not even talking about the TFLs. He has 60 TFLs as well. That's tackle for loss for those that don't understand that analogy. But the thing is, this dude is a dominant force. Nate and I were beating the table about having a dominant defensive lineman coming in the interior of this defensive line, not just another good one. So the pressure that he is going to impose upon the opposing offensive line, the havoc that he's going to create for offensive linemen on the inside. Now, all of a sudden, your acquisitions and your investments that you put out there at your defensive end position, those guys get better.
And no doubt, it's no better place to get a big name under the bright lights like Quentin Williams in a Dallas Cowboys uniform than fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. The Strip has been buzzing all week with Cowboys fans. I know everybody's kind of making their pilgrimage to Allegiant Stadium, and we had to have a little bit of magic in studio ourselves. How about this? We've got our very own. This is Matthew Welsby, a professional magician. Yeah. What's the official title? Is it magician?
Mind blower.
Okay. Professional mind blower. My apologies.
Yeah.
I like it. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. You're going to share a little bit of this Vegas style.
Oh,
with
yeah,
us.
absolutely. So thanks for having me along, gentlemen. Just thought I'd quickly get some money for the
look at that.
For the pokies, that's usually what happens to my pokies money.
To the slots. Get
To the slots, that's
yes.
right, yeah.
There you go.
So I'm from Australia originally. My team is actually the North Queensland Cowboys in the Rugby League. So, of course, the Dallas Cowboys are my team now. Go Cowboys!
There it is.
So, Barry, can you give me some help?
I would love to.
All right, here we go. Let's have a look and see. I'll get rid of the packet there.
Okay.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you, just like at a casino, a regular packet of cards.
Okay.
Ace through king, ace through king. What I'd like you to do, Barry, is just give those a quick shuffle for me.
Okay.
All right, give them a shuffle.
Barry's done that once or twice.
That's okay.
That
That is okay.
All Barry's ever played.
Oh, no, I can't do it.
Somebody a great shuffler
Uno.
around here.
Yeah, allow me to do it.
There you go.
Let me give it a quick shuffle for you then. Let me give
That's
it
what we should have practiced.
Yeah, we'll
exactly.
give him a quick shuffle. So, Barry, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to do before we do it. We're going to talk about some magic, okay? I'm going to show you. I'm going to get you to select a card.
Okay.
We're going to select a card. We're going to lose the card in the box. You've got the box handy?
got it right there.
perfect. So we're going to lose the card in the box just like that. And then I'm going to read your mind.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
So,
Don't go too deep.
that's okay, Barry. Anytime you want, Barry, I'm just going to just say a word. Stop for me.
Stop.
Right there. All right, that's your card. Don't let me see it, okay?
All right, won't lose it.
I'm going to turn around so that you can show your friends. Give me a moment.
See that right
I
there?
won't look at the camera, I promise.
see it.
Yes.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
One shot at. There we go.
Okay, ready?
Over here with
Yeah,
it.
that one.
Ready?
All right.
All right, we're
All right.
ready.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
ready.
Show the camera so that everyone at home can see. I want just put it back anywhere you want. This is weird sitting down, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Right there.
Yeah,
All right,
normally,
so it's
normally
in-
you're standing up for all
I'm
of
usually
this.
standing up, exactly. So let's do this first. Let's just cut the cards like that. Give them a quick shuffle. One last little cut like that, and then we're going to put them back in the box. Okay? All right, Barry, here's what we're going to do.
I'm a little worried here that Barry's going to fall out of his chair.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a mind bar. I'm
ready-
a
I'm
mind
ready
bar.
to
Mind
have
bar.
it blown.
All right,
You want to go on Barry's head?
Barry. Just what I need you to do. I need you to clear your mind, Barry.
Okay.
That was really quick.
Yeah.
That was quick.
It was.
It's empty.
It's gone. It's gone.
Barry, just think about that card. Think about
Okay.
your card. All right, here we go. I'm going to draw that card.
All right. Thinking about it.
Don't think about anything but the
Did you clear
card.
the head?
It's gone. Oh, yeah.
It's gone.
I've done it. Ace of spades, right?
That's a nice picture.
Yeah, it looks good.
I went to art
drawing.
school. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hang on. I think everybody think about nothing but the card for me, okay? I think I know what I did wrong.
Oh, no.
I know what I did wrong. Your card is in the box. There's an ace on the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an ace in the box like that.
Yeah.
Right,
So that's
right.
extra.
Yeah.
So that's the box.
You don't look too impressed, but let's watch this, okay? We got a good angle of that. Watch this. Think about the card as the card's going to rise up.
Oh, no.
out of the box.
Whoa. Hold on now.
Bro, what?
Was that?
You weren't lying.
Was that your card of seven of
You-
diamonds?
No, that's exactly what
But the
it was.
good news is, Barry, look, I've got this here for you to take and keep forever. Merry Christmas.
Cherish this. All right? I'm gonna cherish this forever. All right?
Hold on.
Bro, that's a piece of paper, bro.
Wait, hold it. Yeah. That ain't it,
Legit
man.
piece of paper.
Yeah.
You gonna put it in trophy room?
Exactly. I'm framing it. All right? I'm framing it right up
We need
there.
to put it in the studio.
Next to the image.
Wow.
That's
That
incredible.
was unbelievable.
Matthew, that's incredible. And never ask a
That was
magician,
great.
but
That
man,
was
I
great.
have
Yeah,
a
that was
mind-
great, man.
professional mind
me some of
blower
that.
is
Thank you.
absolutely true. Matthew Wellsby, be sure to follow him on social. A little bit of taste of magic, a little bit of taste of that Vegas show life as well. Let's hear it
Give me a
from.
handshake, man. Well, you ain't a kangaroo, are you?
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Awesome
awesome,
stuff.
man.
Now, the one magic trick would be if you can answer our trivia question of the day. George Piggins has our trivia question of the day, and plus we're going to hear from some of the media mash of the podcast this week. You might see a familiar face on there.
Today's trivia question is, what is the record for the most first half points in one game for both teams in Cowboys history?
But I will say, going back to what I saw in the Chiefs game also, where I think Dallas can kind of take advantage, those two tight ends was tearing them up. Oh, yeah. They was tearing them up. That first half, that's all they did. And then once the tight ends finished with them second half, they started just running the ball like crazy. So that we know what we got in Ferguson. Is that going to be Schoonmaker on the side, Brevin Spann-Ford? Like, I think there's if they utilize their tight ends, I think this could be a game to really shine.
You're looking at a team in the Raiders where this is one of two quarterbacks in the entire National Football League with more interceptions than touchdowns. you've got to be able to at least bottle up Ash and JT. Like, I'm not saying you got to hold them to negative yards, but if you're out there and they're 1st and 10, second and 10, you know, they're getting them 3rd and long distances, that's how you win this ball game. All right, Geno Smith he's a streaky quarterback. He's a streaky quarterback. He's a quarterback that, you know, if everything's rolling right and everything's hot, he can do damage to you. But he's also a quarterback that if a couple things go wrong here and there, you get behind the sticks penalty-wise, he's going to be out there giving you interceptions. Like I've gone against quarterbacks like that. Eli Manning, one of the reasons I got paid. That boy was hooking me up. All right, so
you got to just catch it.
You just got to get your hands on it. So that's the type of quarterback you're going against. He's going to give you opportunities. The thing is, don't force those opportunities. Don't just say, okay, I gotta jump on this. He's gonna give you those opportunities. You gotta be able to cash in, and to be able to do that, you gotta make him one-dimensional, and you gotta force Geno Smith to win with his arm.
Our very own Barry Church on the Players Lounge, 2 o'clock Monday through Friday on DallasCowboys.com and the streaming platforms, and Girls Talk, Boys Talk as well. A look down the strip in Las Vegas as the Dallas Cowboys prepare for their Monday Night Football matchup. Let's go out to Vegas and Allegiant Stadium for the first time, where we check in with Nick Eatman on the sideline. It's been a little bit, Nick. We haven't talked to each other since 2 Monday nights ago, and the Cowboys, of course, have been off for quite some time. 3-5-1 as they enter. How important is this matchup to even ensure some momentum toward the back half of the schedule?
Have you seen the schedule? You've looked at it, right? You got to get the winnable games, and I think they're all winnable, really. I mean, I don't know. At Detroit's going to be, kind of tough, but this is a game they're favored in. Obviously, they got to go win this game. They're rested. The Raiders are rested too, but we know what's at stake, and if they are going to push forward like they talk about and get on some kind of a run, it has to start in a game like this. I think they're a better team. I think they've got more talent. I think they've got the better quarterback. They've got more rest. I don't know if you would say they've got more to play for, but I will. And I think that this is a game you got to go out and win one way or another. Doesn't matter. You don't have to win. There's no such thing as an ugly win. Just go win.
You talk about more to play for, and you can see some of the T-shirts behind it. We've already kind of mentioned the impact of Marshawn Kneeland and his loss on this football team. But what's his lasting impact that he leaves behind as they play their first game without one of their brothers?
Well, when you go back and think of the last play that we remember, the block punt by Sam Williams, the ball's rolling back there. The way he attacked that football is the way the Cowboys need to attack this game. I mean, the ball's sitting there, be under control, but run your ass to the ball. I'm sorry. Go get the football, be under control, get it, and make the play. And that's what he did. That's the last play that we're really going to remember Marshawn Kneeland, but that's the type of play that every play that the Cowboys need to make. Go get the football, go get the ball, go get your block, do whatever you've got to do, but do it the way Marshawn was running after that football.
I love that, and a beautiful illustration, of course, of what the Cowboys have to do tonight. And the coaching staff, some of the players have echoed this sentiment throughout the week, but it's impossible to move on from what happened to Marshawn Kneeland, but it is possible to move forward. What does that look like from this Cowboys team? What will it look like for them to move forward?
I thought that was one of the best things that's been said all week. I know Schottenheimer said it. Not sure he came up with it. Who knows? Who cares? But I think it is a perfect way to do it, and isn't it kind of what we have to do with everything? You don't forget what's happened. You don't forget the loved ones. You don't forget the things, the people that help shape you who you are. But you keep moving forward, but you honor them at the same time. And there's a way to do both. And I think that's what you're seeing with the shirts. You're going to see different things tonight. Maybe at the captains, you'll see obviously the moment of silence, things like that. You're not forgetting anything, but you are going to honor them and the way that you carry about it and the way that you go play.
No doubt about that. Nick Eatman joining us on the sideline at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Nick, thanks so much. Appreciate you as always, and we'll check back in on the sidelines very shortly. Let's hear from Coach Schottenheimer and some of the players that were teammates of Marshawn's earlier this week.
It was hard to hear the pain that some of these guys are dealing with, but it was also very uplifting to hear the strength from other guys, and that's the beauty of a team, right? Like when one side of the ball is playing good, the other side of the ball has to pick them up. When one guy's hurting, someone else has to pick them up. If the head coach is hurting, someone's got to pick me up, and I won't. I'm hurting. And these guys have picked me up, and I've picked them up. And that's what we're going to continue to do because we love one another. And it's what a family does.
Marshawn, just a great dude. Just spirit was always high. Anytime you crossed him, very contagious attitude. We spent, I would say, a lot of time throughout the training room passing each other, having small conversations here and there, and very loving, contagious guy. I mean, I know that, right? It's been noted, right? His saying was one love, and I think you just felt that. You felt that aura, you felt that demeanor, you felt him carry that.
Marshawn was a guy who loved his anime, loved his video games like anybody else. I mean, to me, he's always showed me nothing but respect from the moment he came into the locker room, the room. He respected me as a player. He respected me as a person. So I have nothing but, high respect for him. If there's anything his family needs, I'll be the first person to help or, offer anything I can do to offer the person. But, I just hope that, he finds his peace and his family finds his peace in the situation.
My condolences for Marshawn Nealon's family, the Cowboys. It's tough to lose a brother in a situation like this. So, I want to send my condolences, my love, and my prayers.
As I said at the vigil on Monday night, is like, people don't understand, like, we're all teammates. We may not be best friends, but we're all brothers. And, to lose someone like that who brought so much joy in the room, always a smile on his face, always enjoying the time. Every time he made a big play, you could see the smile through his helmet. Like someone who, held the standard every day and how he worked, always running to the ball, always working his tail off in every aspect of the game, someone who didn't take each day for granted. And to have that spirit and that person missing in your room, it's devastating. It's devastating for his teammates, but it's even more devastating than that. It's devastating for his family, for Catalina, for all his loved ones. He was loved by so many, and you could feel that love throughout the last week. And
Solomon Thomas voicing what all those current teammates from the Cowboys have been talking about over the last week, as they will wear the number 94 on the back of the helmet for the remainder of the 2025 season. They are also warming up in some specialty-made T-shirts with Marshawn Nealon on the front, honoring their lost teammate. And you could hear it even there from former Cowboys like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, just how much Marshawn meant to them and as a teammate and as a friend, plus those on social media also very much so pouring out the love and support for the Nealon family and for all those that were affected by this tragedy. It really is something that has sparked a conversation of checking up on those around you, continuously checking in on those that you love, those that you work with on a day-to-day basis, because you never know what somebody is going through. And Isaiah, mental health is a real thing, and it is a real problem for some people out there. And you never know who is struggling because it affects everybody differently.
No, absolutely. I can speak for myself as a former player, as a man, as a brother of color. There's a lot of stressors that I've been under, and I can tell you that there are things that a lot of negative thoughts that I've dealt with personally, but due to my faith, due to my leaning on my community, I prevented myself from being in certain situations. So I would like to encourage those that regardless of how tough you might be, regardless of what you may be dealing with, to go ahead and reach out, lean upon your resources, lean upon those that are around you.
Yeah, Isaiah is 1,000% correct in this one. Don't be afraid to let your emotions out and have that vent to someone that you can confide in and talk to. I mean, life is already hard enough when you're by yourself, but you need somebody to be able to convey those feelings, convey those thoughts out to, because, as football players, we're taught from a young age, don't show any emotion, don't let it get the best of you. But sometimes it's better when you're able to vent out to someone and get those emotions out of you, because you don't want it to boil up and explode one day. So for me, make sure you talk to somebody, whether it be a friend, mother, or family, coworkers, anybody out there. It's good to be out there with somebody and not by yourself. So don't be afraid to open up emotionally.
And you will be surprised of the people that have had these situations that you think you're going through by yourself. I'm telling you, what these gentlemen have spoken on, y'all take that to heart. I have lost Mark Tournay. That's one of my teammates. Different circumstances, different situation. But if somebody of responsibility would have been around him that night, maybe this wouldn't happen. Same way with Nealon. If we could have got to him, if somebody could have spoke to him, you never knew the situation could have been slightly different. But I'm telling you, stay close to the ones you love and always find out what's going on in their lives.
No doubt about it, and said very well by all of you. And as you can see here, the 988 Suicide Prevention and Suicide Crisis Hotline is available 24/7. So call that number if you or a loved one continues to have those types of thoughts as well. And it's a conversation that has gone on for 11 days. It's been 11 days since we've lost Marshawn as an organization, and we continue to encourage those out there that might be struggling with somebody or with something. Go ahead and call that number on the screen as well. Of course, Marshawn Nealon, just 24 years old, passing away last week, as we honor him with a moment of silence. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys getting ready to take the field at Allegiant Stadium. Look at that group getting ready to take on the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. Welcome back into Cowboys Pregame Live. Of course, an emotional day across the board. Back with Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton. We are now joined by Nicole Hutchison of DallasCowboys.com. Welcome to the show, Nicole. And you know, when we were having our pre-show meetings throughout the week, we were talking about what you wanted to talk about on your package this week.
Yeah.
And it seems like you've come up with the idea that there's still a chance that the Cowboys could make the playoffs here.
Hear me out. Okay, listen, Linda. All right. History is not on Dallas' side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you look back at the teams that have started 3-5-1 or 3-5, 3 wins on the season. It hasn't looked good, okay? But you talk about, you know, what's feeling a little bit different about this Dallas Cowboys team. Well, just hear me out a little bit.
At 3-5-1, the Cowboys are walking a tightrope, not out of it, but the path ahead is steep. The playoff picture says slim. The standings say second in the NFC East. In history, it says this climb rarely ends at the top. Let's start with the odds. Teams that begin 3-5-1, fewer than 10% make the postseason. And since 1990, only a handful have done it that started with 3 or less wins, like the 1990 New Orleans Saints, 1994 New England Patriots, so forth, and then the 2020 Washington Commanders. And Dallas right now has a 7% chance. It's not can they, it's will they. Take Washington, for example. Started 2-7, finished 7-9, won the NFC East in 2020 and made the playoffs. And the reason for their turnaround, well, it wasn't their 25th ranked offense during that time. Their defense was top 5 in points allowed and yards allowed during that stretch. And let's go way back to the 1994 Patriots. They started 3-6, won 7 of their next 8, and Bill Parcells' offense stayed balanced all year, finishing in the top 10, with the help of their passing defense that improved, of course, holding opponents to 186 passing yards compared to their 244 in the first half that gave up the 5th most. Now, there's no copy and paste comeback formula in this league. Some rode elite defenses, others leaned on offenses or turnover luck late in the season. And even with a Dallas defense that ranks near the bottom of the league statistically in every category, there's still hope. Stats don't measure fight. Dallas has the pieces in Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson. They also have the motivation of losing a brother. Now it's on them to turn it into purpose.
I mean, like I already said, the pieces are there. The Cowboys were aggressive at the trade deadline, like you guys have already talked about on the show. But, I mean, 11th in the NFC right now, it's not too bad. You look at Minnesota, who's got 4 wins. Detroit, Carolina, 6. They're not too far away from the team. I know y'all are looking at me like y'all are stressed. Y'all look like y'all are stressed. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, okay? They still got the Chiefs. They have Philly. It's a gauntlet of a schedule. But anything's possible.
It is. Anything is possible. And I like the history that you went into to show that it is possible to turn a season around. It does remind me a little bit of Isaiah's, one of his favorite movies and one of his favorite characters.
Yep.
What does he always say? Jim Carrey says.
Mr. Lloyd says, so you're saying there's a chance. All right.
This is officially from Sportsline. I know your number said 7%. Sportsline had it at an 8.4%. So let's talk about it a little bit here. Barry, how do the Cowboys actually do what Nicole wants them to do, and that's make a charge to the playoffs?
Well, you got the offense to do it. All right? You got one of the most prolific offenses there is in the National Football League. The problem is the defensive side of the football. They're going to have to do a massive turnaround if they want to try to make a playoff push. And I'm not saying you got to be a top 10 defense or top 5 defense. I don't believe that. If you can get to the middle of the road, if you can get to 16, 17 as far as the defensive rankings is concerned, then I believe this offense can carry you the rest of the way, and you'll have that slim chance to get to the playoffs.
Listen, you're going to control what you can control. Week by week, take care of your assignments. Go ahead and knock off every team that shows up on your schedule, and then hope, right? Hope's not a strategy. There's a little hopium, all right? You know what I'm saying? We don't do drugs around here. But there is hopium that is done. Just take care of what you can control, and maybe Nate Dogg will have the answer.
I got the answer. No, we're not stressing. But you're in fantasy land right now because you got to understand what they need to do is they at least average 28 points a game offensively, at least. You're going to have 2 defensive turnovers a game to keep your offense on the field. And you're going to have to win every NFC East game remaining. That's what you have to do. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm not stressing. But I don't live in fantasy land either.
But you know what? I say this, okay? Because we're trying to be realistic as former players.
Absolutely.
But I can look at the remaining schedule, and there is a lot of hopium that's there, right? The hopium is there. And the reason why the hopium's there is because you feel pretty confident against the Raiders, okay? You also feel as if you can knock off the Eagles, right? I feel as if they can knock off the Eagles. The Eagles, we talk about how many points we need to put up. Their offense, Kevin Patullo on that offensive coordinator situation in Philly right now is not hitting. So if this defense shows up with the new additions, they have a chance. And then you look at Detroit. Detroit's trying to figure themselves out right now, too. They're playing inconsistent ball, right? So there's a lot in there. We can talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are playing inconsistent ball. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
I like this.
Is what I'm saying, okay,
Optimism
people?
is
So,
great.
hopium has me floating right now.
We heard from Matthew earlier with a little bit of the magic, right?
Yeah.
Isaiah is trying to channel a little bit of that magic to make a magical push to the playoffs. That's what I'm hearing.
So you're saying 7 wins, right?
At least.
At least. Go get that 7 of diamond, homeboy.
The 7 of diamonds. Nicole, thanks so much as always. I love the positivity. I love the optimism that we have here on Cowboys Pregame Live. We did have a cool announcement earlier this week. How about this, Cowboys Nation? Time to get in the giving season. It's upcoming. Post Malone is set to perform during the Salvation Army's Red Kettle Kickoff halftime show this Thanksgiving on CBS. Of course, the Grapevine native and multi-award winning artist and diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, Post Malone, is going to put on an incredible show. His whole thing is big. He's going to take it bigger at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving as the Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Red Kettle Kickoff featuring Post Malone. This Week 11 matchup is going to not feature these Dallas Cowboys. Some of those guys on the list: Devone Clark, Jaden Blue. You've got Trequezie Bridges, who had an interception a couple weekends ago, Jonathan Mingo, and then Solomon Thomas out there for the Cowboys. But a couple names that are not on this list. How about DeMarvion Overshown, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, Savone Rebel, all make their return to practice this week. Let's start with these guys: Wilson, Hooker, Rebel in that Cowboys secondary. Barry, how big is it just to have bodies back there again?
Well, it's good just to have those bodies, like you said, but when we talked about this defense earlier, it's all about the communication. And we've seen this secondary give up blown assignment after blown assignment after blown assignment. Now, I'm not saying Donovan Wilson or Malik Hooker or, the reincarnated of, Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed. I'm not saying that. that. But they do have experience back there, and they understand the strengths and weaknesses of each other in that secondary, and they can help communicate throughout the rest of that secondary so you can at least play all on the same page. If you got one guy playing cover 2 and the other guy playing man-to-man, that's how you get beat. But with these guys back in there, you'll have a little bit of that quarterbacks back in the secondary to at least kind of sharpen the rest of these guys up.
Why are you looking at him like that, Isaiah?
I don't know. He's talking about
what are you looking
to the
at
playoffs
him
and stuff. What you got going, man?
Listen, I would love to believe what you're preaching right now.
Okay.
Because it's true. You know what I'm saying? Communication is important. Yeah. It's true that you have some veterans back there, but it's also true that we've seen the body of work that's been put on film this year with those individuals, and it hasn't been great, right? No shots fired at them. We're just going off of the film. Based off the film, communication has not been great. Based off of the film, execution has not been great with those individuals. So I don't have a lot of hope with those individuals coming back. Now, you talk about DeMarvion Overshown. I have a lot of hope with him and what he presents at his position, especially with the addition of a Quentin Williams up front. In terms of Siobhan Rebel, I don't know what to expect, right? I don't have a lot of expectations there because I understand how important it is for your knee at that position, right? So I'm not going to put a lot of expectations on that young man. I'm going to wait and see. But in terms of the secondary, communication has to happen. I don't really care who's back there. You just have to be able to talk. This is cover 2, it's cover 3, we cover 6. That's what we're talking about. If you can't communicate that,
it's over with.
It's over.
Yeah, it's just about discipline. I mean, I'm with you. You have to come back as a veteran guy, understanding that Eberflus is here. Learn the defense. Be disciplined. Communicate. And that's for real. I mean, because if you can't do it, that's the end of what's happening, man. Them fantasy football numbers y'all threw out earlier, ain't none of that going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of the communication has to be there, and it's going to be a lot of new faces back there as well. But how about the excitement around Cowboys Nation getting Agent Zero back in the fold? DeMarvion Overshown, once number 13, he's going to be wearing the 0. First Dallas Cowboys player to ever don that number. Here's what he had to say about how excited he is to return to the fold.
Over the course of this season, I figured out that I have performance anxiety before games. But during that time, I told our psychiatrist, I feel like that's my moment to power up. I feel like I'm a transformer when I just start shaking. I feel like that's the superhero coming out of me. So I know it's going to be a lot of mixed emotions just by, being happy to be out there, knowing that, we walking out with one less soldier, but also knowing that, look, you waited 365 for this moment again. Be blessed. Don't take it lightly. Have fun while you're doing it. When the time comes, when the situation comes, if I'm at that play count or that limit, we already done made the conversation where, look, it's the play that needs to be made. I got to be on the field.
That from DeMarvion Overshown at the end. This is a guy that loves playing the game of football, and you can kind of feel that, Isaiah, even in that last clip. If the play is needed to be made, I'm going to be out there.
Yeah, it's infectious, and I can say all of us been in locker rooms up here, and you are around a lot of guys that are passionate about the game. You're around guys that love the game of football. But then there's certain individuals that just put off a different type of vibe, and it is so contagious. And when you're around Demo, you can't help but understand that young man loves the game. He has to be attached to the game. The game is intertwined with him. It is AWA in his veins, all right? So I love everything about Demo, and I'm excited for him and his comeback.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm excited to see what this young man can bring to the table once again. We got a glimpse of him, in seasons past and what he's able to do, his explosiveness out there. But when you look at Overshown, to me, he's going to be that chess piece that Eberflus can move around. I mean, he's got that sideline-to-sideline speed. He has that cover ability to lock up one of these tight ends or the running backs that come out of the backfield. And not only that, he has that versatility. You can put him on the edge. We've seen our edge pressure, kind of be up and down so far this season. If you want to, you could put him on the edge and create that quarterback pressure that those other guys can't on the edge. He's that versatile as a player. But for me, I'm excited about the potential of the tandem of him and Wilson out there. Because if Wilson's out there being that quarterback, making sure everybody's lined up, defensive line, secondary, everybody's together, then Overshown can just see ball, go get ball. Oh, this is my assignment? All right, I'm going to use my speed and athleticism to go out there and get it. He doesn't have to worry about lining everybody up, and I'm extremely excited about that tandem.
The last player I saw that loves the game like that's Michael Irvin for me. Michael Irvin, I mean, will cry in a heartbeat. If he feels stuff's not going, he'll go to screaming, holler, almost to the point where he's going to cry. I've seen him lose games and cry. He's like, man, I love this game. This is my life. And this is this kid's life. This is the only guy I know that come back from blown knees and play like he ain't missed a step. His energy is needed for this team.
Yeah. Torn ACL, torn MCL, torn PCL, all in the same knee in that December matchup last season. Less than 11 months later, he's back in the fold. It's really an incredible resurgent story. He's already come back from ACL injuries in the past and looked the same. Hopefully, DeMarvion Overshown shows some of that resiliency again today. You know who else is happy to see Agent Zero back on the field? This Cowboys front office is pumped to see DeMarvion Overshown active again. And one of the members of the front office, Stephen Jones, is with our very own Nick Eatman.
Thanks so much, Kyle. And as always, we're joined by Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. And Stephen, boy, it's been a long couple of weeks, obviously. How excited are you just to see your football team back on the field? And are you comfortable with the prep work that they've done, even though it's definitely been an emotional last 14 days?
Well, obviously, you say it best. It's been very emotional and difficult, but I do know our guys know they don't move on, but ready to move forward. And best thing we can do to honor Marshawn is to go out here and play well. And the guys had a good week of practice, and I think this will be good for him to come out here and play a football game. Has it been difficult to kind of balance that? Obviously, you're thinking about it, but so much is done in football as prep work during the week. You feel confident in the way that they've gone about it, and this year football team actually running onto the field here, but do you feel comfortable with how they've done the prep work off the field as well, not just in practice? Well, absolutely. Everybody handles grief in a different way, but overall I feel like our team is prepared in the right way, and I think they're all ready to get out here and go to work, and I think they'll do a good job. Let's talk about this defense. You got some new faces there and some guys that are coming back as well. Should we just start with Quinnen Williams, or how excited are you to have him there, right there in the middle? Well, obviously, he's one of the best in the business there in the middle, and along with the two we already had here, obviously, and Kenny Clark and Osa. So that really, we've got a lot of packages where they're going to be in there together, all three of them, and then getting guys back like Hooker and then of course Overshown and Dono, and it's going to be exciting to see how this defense plays tonight. Obviously they got to go out and execute and run the defense, but I think this really has the makings of being something good. On the other side, or actually on the Raiders side of the ball, Ashton Jeanty was the running back that you guys looked at. A lot of teams, wanted a guy like that. He went very high in the draft. What do you like about his game, and how much is he the key for your defense getting off the field? Well, first of all, he played high school ball right there in our own backyard. So we followed him. What an amazing career he had in high school and college, of course, following that up with a great start here in the NFL. But his contact balance is rare. When we scouted him, you don't see many guys who have that kind of contact balance, and he's going to be a handful for us tonight. So we're going to have to get after him. They've just got a good, another rare player and a guy, and their tight end Bowers, and we're going to have our hands full. Couple of historic things happening here for the Cowboys tonight. First game ever in Vegas. I'll ask you about that. Also, first game ever with a number 0 with Overshown going to play there. But when you got into the NFL, did you ever dream of playing a game in Las Vegas? And now it's so normal, but we haven't done it yet. Well, you never thought that would happen. We got a little taste of it, of course, with playing a preseason game here. So that was nice just to get to test drive it first. But obviously this amazing stadium. Mark Davis and the Davis family have done a great job of really putting together another beautiful place for NFL fans to come watch their teams play. It looks like we've got a few Cowboy fans here tonight. And not only enjoy this game, I'm sure they're here to enjoy Vegas as well. But no, it's great to be here, and great to be a part of it. All right, well, we're going to be doing this often here. 4 games in 17 days. It starts here. See if the Cowboys can go get a win. Thanks for stopping by. Great being on. All right, Stephen Jones. Kyle, we'll throw it back to you.
I love that last part there. This is going to be a busy stretch for the Cowboys. They take on the Raiders, who have not had a ton of success since the turn of the century. Just 2 winning seasons since the 2003 campaign, whether they were in Oakland or they were in L.A. or they were, of course, now in Las Vegas. And even Ashton Jeanty, former Dallas-Fort Worth product out of Lone Star High School, saying it is a losing culture around there for a long time. Even though they did move to Vegas in 2020, the Cowboys playing their first regular season game at Allegiant Stadium, back with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. When you hear things like that, a losing culture and a long time, is that something that is a legitimate thing? I know, Barry, you played a couple different spots. And I am going to mention Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
But you want a little bit in Jacksonville.
There you go.
So, I mean, is it a real thing, the losing culture that extends from one season to the next?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, when you look at it, teams got to learn how to win games. I mean, and then we looked at it in Jacksonville. It took guys like myself, Calais Campbell, A.J. Boyer, guys coming from all different type of organizations to kind of turn that winning culture around there. And then, as you see, when we left, they went right back to losing. But what I will say this is, having a winning culture is something that you got to go out there and earn on the football field. Yeah. It is not just, hearsay or just talking about it. You got to actually go out there and put the work in. And we'll see if this Dallas Cowboys team for the remainder of the season can go and put that work in.
So what has been the difference this year for the Vegas Raiders, Nate, when it comes to their 2-7 start? Why have they gotten to this point? Pete Carroll's a legendary head coach. They have some good players on both sides of the football. What has gone wrong?
They like to play great defense, and they're just playing above average defense right now. But what's really hurt them is the running game. Ashton Jeanty, they depend on him a lot. They want to get the run going, and their quarterback Geno has not been the Geno that was early in Seattle. So that is the problem. Fix that offensive line, get Jeanty going, and Geno has to stop with the interceptions.
You're right about that. It's just inconsistent play. Yeah, consistent play. They brought in Pete Carroll to lead this regime. They brought in Geno Smith to kind of steady the tides at that quarterback position, and all he's done is throw more interceptions than he has touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He is a play-action quarterback, much like Dak Prescott's a play-action quarterback, right? But Dak possesses the ability to sit back and throw you into a victory versus Geno Smith is not made that way. So if he doesn't have Ashton Jeanty having success with this offensive line that has not been great, then he's left back there to try to throw himself into a victory. He can't do it. Defensively, they have one dominant player on that side of the ball. We know having one dominant player does not result in success as an entire unit. So they have a lot of building that they have to do. Just bringing in a really good head coach that has success and bringing in a quarterback that has recently had success doesn't get you there.
11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions for Geno Smith, one of 2 quarterbacks in the NFL that have more interceptions than touchdowns. The other one is rookie first overall pick Cam Ward with the Tennessee Titans. So not good company at the moment for Geno Smith to be a part of. You mentioned the dominant player in Max Crosby. Everybody's excited to see Max Crosby. He was, of course, a possible trade target for the Cowboys at one point in time. There were rumors circling about that. They're going to see plenty of him tonight. But, Isaiah, I'll start with you. Give me your player to watch. I'm going to take Max Crosby off the table here because that's the easy answer. But give me a player to watch in this football game tonight for the Raiders.
Well, I'm going to watch him, and I hope he doesn't do too much in terms of getting his ISOs because, I mean, he's doing well. His name is Brock Bowers, all right? He's a tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. This dude is an absolute beast. You guys see some of his stats from previous weeks. He's nasty. He's the best tight end in the league. I will stand on any table, any mountain and say that. Wow. The ability to stand attached to the offensive line and block his behind off in the running game and in the passing game, be able to run routes from the three-point stands, run routes from a detached setting, one-on-one, route you up, post you up. It doesn't matter. He's a really good player.
What makes him so special about the route running ability, and who on the Dallas defense is going to be tabbed at slowing him down?
He can run any route. He's a big body tight end. Most of the time, big body tight ends can't run the entire route tree. He can. His yards after catch is absolutely nasty. And honestly, there's nobody that can guard him. I'm just being real. There's not anybody on this defense that can match him up man to man. You're going to need to double team him and box him in. If he's running across the formation, both safeties need to be aware. Linebackers need to get depth, and you need to get hands on him as soon as you can.
All right, let's go home. Superman has arrived.
Who's your player to watch now?
Ashton Jeanty. This kid is the real deal. he can make people miss in the hole, and that's what he's been spending most of his time doing this season. The offensive line is not complimenting him at all. This guy is hard to bring down. Well, he has 47 forced misses. Yeah. He is legit. If this kid can ever get going, he will hurt you. He only had one 100-yard game. Mm-hmm. He is special. I tell you what, keep him down and throw it back in Geno's hands.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Nate. I mean, we might as well keep the video keep rolling on Ashton Jeanty because that's who I got as well. I mean, this is a guy that runs behind his pads. I mean, he's just as strong in the first quarter as he is in the fourth quarter, and he can wear your defense down. So to me, this is going to be one of those guys that you got to gang tackle him. This is not a guy that you just go in there with an elbow or try to just wrap up with an arm. He's going to break all sorts of tackles. So you got to gang tackle him out here, and you got to understand where he is at all times. But I'm going to put a little honorable mention on there as well. I know we talked about Geno Smith, and he's throwing 12 interceptions and only 11 touchdowns. But don't let this guy do what Russell Wilson did to this defense back in week 3. All right, make sure you make him uncomfortable because he is streaky. But when he gets hot, he can be one of the hotter quarterbacks in the National Football League.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people throughout the week are just assuming Dallas's defense with the new additions is going to take a monumental leap forward. It's going to take time.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take a little bit of time for this defense to look like what you want it to look like. I'm glad you brought that up. And I think Ashton Jeanty is a familiar name to a lot of Cowboys fans because he is from the Frisco area, because he was a possible draft target if he would have fallen as far as Dallas was in the first round, but he didn't. He finished up as the number 6 overall pick, and he almost broke Barry Sanders' collegiate single-season rushing record last year as a part of the Boise State Broncos. So lots to talk about, lots of faces on this team that you got to keep an eye on. People have kept an eye on this guy for a long time. His name is Tom Brady, and this has been a conversation throughout the season. But now that it's a little more relevant for a team that Tom Brady has called games for. Of course, he was with Dallas multiple times early in the season as the color analyst on the Fox broadcast on the TV side of things. He was in the booth earlier in the season as a minority owner for the Las Vegas Raiders. So the question becomes, is there any issue with this? Is there a conflict of interest with Tom Brady being a minority owner, but also having pretty elevated access with the rest of the teams around the league?
Yeah, I kind of think it's a little fishy when we talk about that. I mean, we're talking about a guy in Tom Brady, yes, the greatest of all time quarterback and all that stuff, but he's been a part of some scandals throughout the National Football League. I mean, the Flakegate, Spygate, I mean, he was a part of those things. So we've all been in production meetings. They ask those tips. They say, hey, what's going on? How is this defense going to, react to this guy? How are you guys taking away this guy? And they can give those tips to Tom Brady. So to me, I don't like it. I don't like it personally. But hey, we'll see what happens. But I don't like it, man.
You ain't about to be talking about my old teammate.
Yeah, I was about to say. Isaiah was in the quarterback room with that gentleman.
Listen, previously I did have a problem with it, but the league came down and started limiting the access that he has.
Yes.
Since they've limited the access that he has, meaning he can no longer go to the opposing team. Well, not the opposing team. He can't go to the team facilities. He can't sit in on the meetings physically there. He can't watch the practices. Those were the things that were going to give him the edge, because I can guarantee you, having played with TB12, he is observant. And trust me, if he was going to be at practices, he was going to be literally just encoding information from the protections, from the quarterbacks, from who's walking in the training room. He was going to take all that information and take it back to his party. I can almost guarantee you that. But now they've limited that. He's having production meetings back in the studio or via Zoom. I think now is pretty even Steven now. Well, I don't believe that there is an advantage.
So he can't ask questions or anything like that?
He can ask questions, but these are grown men that he's talking to, right? So he just probably won't get as transparent of answers as he would have. That hurts the network. That doesn't hurt him. That hurts the network.
But he also gets the best seat in the house of every single game. The network television booth, 50-yard line, all 22. And you just talked about the way he digests information.
All the fans
I'm
at
just
home
saying.
have all 22s
Yeah,
now.
hey, man.
It's true. He's not getting anything
all
that
the fans ain't Tom Brady, though.
Yeah, they're not.
All I want to know, can he get the information to Geno? Because evidently he ain't got the information to Geno.
He ain't got no microphone to Geno.
So I have no problem with that. Geno, do what you do, baby.
Let's talk about Geno Smith a little bit here. Here's the passing chart via Next Gen Stats, his throwing grid on the season. And as you can see, anything further than 10 yards down the field just has not been successful in his passer rating. It is below the league average in every single one of those categories in that further third of the field. So Geno Smith specifically, I know, Isaiah, you kept a close eye on him during his time with the Seattle Seahawks. What's the difference between what he did in 2024 now to what he's doing with the Las Vegas Raiders?
There's no running game. Nate already hit it. He's a play-action guy.
Yeah.
He has to have the running game. But to Barry's point also, he's a streaky quarterback. So streaky on both ends. Whether he's having success, he'll light you up and throw four touchdowns in a heartbeat, right, if he gets that confidence rolling. But if you're able to go out there and force some negative plays on him, he'll start doubting himself and start forcing things, and it'll just snowball on him in a negative direction as well. So I think that this year he's just struggling to get that consistency because he doesn't have that guy. He has the guy, but the offensive line isn't creating a hole, so they're not having any success in that portion of their offense.
Yeah, and not only the run game, because like you said, he needs that balance as well. But when he was with Seattle, he had a defense. Yeah. He had a defense, and he didn't have to outscore these teams week in and week out. When you put that much pressure on, I just don't believe he's that type of quarterback that can go out there and win shootouts week after week after week.
He threw 15 interceptions last year for 21 touchdowns, but he had a defense and he had a run game. This year here, he has 12 interceptions and only 11 TDs. He still needs that same thing. He is the play-action pass quarterback premier.
And he just got Brock Bowers back.
Yes.
He just got him back. He just, what else was I about to say? They traded away his number one receiver, right? So, like there's some things that are working against him as well. They still have the same expectations of him, but they're not giving him what he needs.
And there is Geno getting ready for this one against the Dallas Cowboys. You talk about play-action quarterbacks. Of course, one of the best quarterbacks with play-action this season has been Dak Prescott, and throughout his career, really, across the board. Dak's still one of the top passing leaders in the NFL through the early parts of the 2025 season. Even with the bye week, he sits fourth, only behind Daniel Jones, who's number one. That's still mind-boggling to think about. Then you got Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, some of the usuals up there. But Dak Prescott, 2,319 yards. What does he need to do differently tonight, Isaiah, as our resident quarterback, to get back on track after not playing the best brand of football on the offensive side the last two games?
Take the easy play. I think he's gotten back to his old ways of trying to force the ball. I also don't think that a lot of it is on his shoulders. I think that Coach Schottenheimer hasn't necessarily called the best games as of late. I think that their play calling has been relatively predictable. When you look at their pass concepts, he's getting back to the old mirror routes, meaning that he has the same route on both sides of the receivers. I think they need to get back to doing what they did early, which is get the ball to Javonte, let him do his play action, and then have things going across the formation, which challenges the defense at both levels, the second and the third level of the defense.
Yeah, really, this is an offense that looked like it was going to be firing on all cylinders throughout the season, and then the last two games against Denver and then last time out against Arizona, it didn't look the same from an efficiency standpoint along the way. Now, George Pickens has still been a big part of that. They've continuously thrown him and CeeDee Lamb the football, two receivers averaging over 80 yards per game. It would be the first Cowboys duo to ever average 80-plus yards per game over the course of an entire NFL season. He has our answer to our trivia question today, plus a little more media mashup.
No. Have not?
I like. How about you, bro?
Y'all still have tattoo?
Nah, I have none. No? I got fat too.
No.
I said, if I'm playing Madden, I'm shifting my D-line over to Brock Bowers. I'm going to put my defensive end, whether that's going to be Osa Odigizua or whether that's Donovan Ezeraku, whoever it might be, Solomon Thomas. I would go big. I would go heavy.
And for those that are thinking, but two of those three guys are defensive tackles with a five-man front, it could be anybody.
With a four-man front.
Even four.
Osa and Solomon could be my DNs in this four-man front.
Very much so.
Period, point blank, in this week.
Especially with Clark and Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, Quinnen Williams. Personally, Quinnen Williams as my 5 technique or my 3 technique. I'm putting Kenny Clark as my 1 technique, and I'm putting Osa and Solomon to be my disruptor with whichever side Brock Bowers goes. If he wants to attach himself to the line of scrimmage, jam him up. Come off and hit him in his chest cavity, and then I'm going to have a linebacker sitting there waiting for him. Jam him up even more at the next level.
That's the opposite of a NASCAR package.
I am not.
You know, like they have all edge rushers up front. It's the opposite of that. This is like the dump truck package. That's what this is.
Absolutely.
This is the twisted metal.
Listen, I want Brock Bowers by the second quarter battered and bruised and not getting past 5 yards.
Today's trivia question is, what is the record for the most first half points in one game for both teams in Cowboys history? The answer to today's trivia question is 55 points versus the Raiders on October 23rd, 1983.
Look at that old footage from 1983. 55 points in the first half of that matchup. Who said they didn't play offense back then? It was all about the defense back in the day. Not the case. We've got Nicole Hutchison back with us. Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans, wrapping up this edition of Cowboys Pregame Live with a little bit of bold predictions. Nate, I'm going to start with you. Bold prediction for this Monday Night Football matchup.
We need my tight end to catch for 100 yards. I don't care how he get it. He need a 100-yard catch. Jake Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson. What do you think, Barry?
Agent Zero, Overshown. 10-plus tackles, 1 sack. There we go.
Agent Zero. What about you?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to go Quentin Williams. Let's go 3 TFLs and a sack.
Ooh, yes, sir. I like it. That was
sweet.
That was sweet.
I'm going Terrence Steele gives up the least amount of pressures because Brian Schottenheimer said that right tackle position is very open this week. So I'm going Terrence Steele gets right.
Bold. Does that mean he didn't allow a pressure because he's not starting at right tackle?
Yes.
That's bold, italicized, and
yeah, a little bit of extra. That's going to do it for us here on Cowboys Pregame Live. Hope you had fun with us. Of course, rest in peace, Marshawn Kneeland. We love you, brother. Cowboys will be playing for him tonight. Cowboys Raiders on Monday Night Football.